So the first step is to try to isolate this natural log. We have 5 times the natural log of negative x plus 7 equals 30. So it kind of starts out like a normal algebra equation. We're going to subtract 7 from both sides. We're going to get 5 natural log of negative x equals 23. And then divide both sides by 5. And we're going to get the natural log of negative x equals, and then 23 divided by 5. .6. And this is as far as people get. And then they're not sure what to do because this negative x in here, it starts getting a little confusing. I'll explain that at the end why it's okay, because right now it looks illegal. Like you can't take the natural log of a negative number, but if we get a negative number as an answer, this will be okay. So I'll show you once we get to the end. But here's the part where people get stuck. So this is the part we have to go over again, and how I'll show you a trick for remembering what to do. If you memorized this is your conversion if you're going from logarithmic to exponential form. I've done other videos on that. So it is base b, the answer is the exponent, and this thing here turns out to be the actual answer in exponential form. So the trick is, how do you do that with natural log? Well, the way I do that, I'll put a note here, is I do something that's technically not exactly accurate, but it helps me remember. I do the natural log base e of x equals y. I actually write the little e here because as soon as I do that, my visual memory gets triggered, and I do this thing again with the arrows. And then I go e to the y equals x, and then I know how to convert. This is not something that you're going to probably have a problem with doing homework, but when you're on a test, especially a high stakes test like a final or an SAT or something like that, then your brain might shut that off. If you do that, that triggers it for me. So then from here, to get unstuck, we're going to do that. Pretend there's a little e right here. And then we get unstuck, and we know that e to this exponent equals the thing that I'm trying to take the natural log of. So e to the 4.6 equals negative x. And that is your unsticking part. Now, just because it bothers me to have my x's on the other side, especially if it's a complicated problem, I'm just going to switch these. I'm not doing any math here. I'm just changing the sides. Now, the next thing to do is to divide by -1, and I'm doing that in my head. So I now have x equal to negative e to the 4.6. When you're first learning about e, it feels like that's a variable, but it's not. That's a number. So we're going to be able to come up with a number for that. So I am going to I'm going to ignore the negative. I know the answer is negative, so I'll just carry that down. I'm just going to grab my e somewhere on my calculator. Where it is. There it is, way down there. Okay, so second e to the 4.6. I could have just typed the answer, but it's just as easy to do that. And there it is, 99.484. 99.484. Again, this is going to trigger somebody thinking, wait, I can't take the natural log of something that is negative. But remember, you're not taking a natural log of something negative because there was a negative x in here. What you're really doing at this spot right here is taking, or at the very beginning even, you're taking the natural log of a negative 99.484, which is going to turn positive.